Reminder to wait for the mic, and I'll call on you. Please, you raise your hand. Start with Katie Goss.
Well, Coach, when you score 6 in a game, especially against a goaltender like Hellebuck, there's obviously a lot of positive things to be happy with. But how do you balance kind of the group's frustration with the outcome with also, learning from this one?
Well, we played hard. We played extremely hard. We did a lot of good things. You don't get 6 on the Jets without doing that, like you mentioned. We also made some mistakes that they capitalized on, too many, obviously, tonight, and it ends up costing us the hockey game. I think there's lots to look at that is on the positive side. We'll have to be better in a couple areas of the game. But I don't think there's a need for frustration at all after that. Shouldn't be frustrated at all. I think we played hard. We played well in a lot of areas. We have to clean up a couple things, but, hey, this is going to be a long, hard series, and frustration shouldn't be creeping into it after losing one game on the road.
Go ahead, right here in front.
Jacob Saul, the Hockey News. I would like to know your thoughts on Gorgia's performance tonight.
It probably needed to be better, right? Like, I thought we played well. We created some chances. He made some good saves, but we're going to need like a couple more saves than that probably to win, so but it is what it is. We'll regroup. It wasn't like we made some mistakes in front of them that we'll have to clean up and try to get the job done. It's a team game.
Jesse.
Coach, the overall attitude in the locker room is very similar to what you're saying. A lot of good things to build on. The mistakes that were made, are they stuff that you kind of feel positive about? They're not the same mistakes over and over, yeah.
Yeah, because, listen, you got to win battles, you got to win races, you got to be highly competitive, you got to do the right thing structurally, which we did. You look at the goals, quickly, goal 1, good coverage, shot, has eyes, makes it all the way through to the net and goes in. Goal 2, we turn it over, right? Can't throw it into the middle of the ice. They make a nice play and get a stick on it, but safer play is probably around the boards on that one. Goal 3, it's a hard forecheck. We're in good coverage. We lose the seal-out net front. They bang it in, right? So it's not from lack of effort, lack of positioning, mental errors. Like the turnover would be a mental error, but they capitalize on those chances, so we have to try and give them less. It's just that simple.
Megan.
26 comeback wins in the regular season points to a lack of panic in this group, and there's elements of that tonight. What do you attribute to that lack of panic, and how can you leverage that, especially in the face of so many key players not in the lineup?
Listen, it's about belief, and it's about not giving up on what you've worked so hard for. That's the reality, right? Like, if you're going to work for something and put everything you got into it for 8 months, and you have belief in your team that you can come back in any situation, then you keep playing as hard as you possibly can and pushing for that to happen. And sometimes it happens. Tonight it didn't, But I think it's just, being strong mentally, being resilient, and believing in what you're doing. And regardless of success or failure, our message is you go put your best foot forward and play every shift like it's your last. It's the best time of the year to be playing hockey in the Stanley Cup playoffs in the best league in the world. And you gotta embrace it, and you gotta put everything you have into it if you want to win.
Front right.
Yes, Coach. I'm just wondering, with the outburst of offense by both teams, what's going through your mind? When the goals are coming fast and furious, did you throw your game plan out of the, out into
no,
what do you do?
We didn't. It's we have a identity that we want to play to, and I thought the guys played to it tonight. And throwing your game plan out the window is something that just fragments our team. We have to stick to our plan and the way we want to play. Doesn't mean we don't try and make adjustments here or there on things that we see or things that we pick up, but it's pretty clear when you're playing a hockey game as a team, as a coach, that when you're doing things that you talk about all year long and you're playing ahead of the other team's structure, the good things will happen for you. And if you start sort of breaking off on your own page, it usually leads to disaster. So just because goals are coming quicker and more frequently from both teams, it's not something that we just want to continue to stick to our process throughout the course of the night and then make adjustments and start again fresh the next day.
Katie and then Corey.
Well, coming into this, Jonathan Drouin's absence was a big miss in the top six. Felt like the team really did a good job with shifting upwards, adjusting to that. The power play also features him. So what did you like about the way the team kind of responded to the changes without him?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it because the power play. I mean, as you know, Becky and Val spend a lot of time in there. We've had some fluidity to that power. I know Drew's been a part of it for most of the year and a real important part of it. But those guys have been with us and have played in those positions for years, not just like weeks or months this season. So they're perfectly capable of continuing to do that. It takes a potent offensive player out of your lineup, so everyone else has to step up. I thought Parise did a nice job on the top line. That was still a really good line. The Middlestead line was also a good line offensively. The group that really kind of turned it up from an offensive standpoint for me was Colton Wood and Kiviranta did a nice job. Like, they were highly effective in a lot of different areas of the game, not just on the defensive side or on the physicality side, but like offensively, that was a dangerous group, which really helps. I mean, you have to have the depth scoring and the contributions throughout your lineup, and everyone has their own sort of specific role and identity, both as individuals and lines. But as a group tonight, like, we didn't miss Drew's offense because everyone else was like significantly better than just average game in the regular season.
Last couple ones, Corey.
Do you feel like, maybe even going back to the last couple of games of the regular season and then tonight, some of the early goals, some of the mistakes that turn into goals, do you feel like your team, gets tense or has issues with, just starts to play a different way because maybe they're worried about the mistakes going in the back of the net?
Well, I thought our start was great tonight. I did. And I know that we get a lead and then it's like, it's gone. But like, I just felt like we were pretty steady in our approach tonight. I didn't think, like, you get the feeling on the bench, is frustration sitting in? Is it do you believe in what you're doing? Like, I think we proved a lot to ourselves tonight in that locker room. Like, we haven't played the Jets well this year. We played them a good game at home early in the season, but like, that's our first taste of us playing hard and them playing hard and seeing what's going to happen, And it's a 7-game series, so I don't think that a whole lot changed for us, like, from start to finish in that game. I thought the guys played as hard as they possibly could and as clean as they possibly could.
Kyle.
We were told Eustace Annunen was unavailable with illness tonight.
Yeah.
Do you expect him to be healthy enough to play in the next game, and what will go into your decision on who starts in net?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to play or not. Wasn't healthy enough to play tonight. We'll see what we see in the morning, and then, I'm not thinking about anything else. We got to have him available if he's going to play.
Last one.
If so, would you consider a goaltending change?
I'm not going to speculate.
Okay, thank you, Jared.
Yep.